Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Okay, today's video, I don't have any computer equipment in that I'm doing anything with at the moment. Still thinking about some other projects I want to do with that. Some CDs, I got one of the CDs in we're going to talk about in the coming videos, and I'm still waiting on another one because they're both Def Leppard CDs, and we'll go over that since I'm a big Def Leppard fan, maybe even look at my whole collection. So what I thought I'd do today is maybe a video about some things that I like in life. Just a little bit of the stuff that I like, so I'll just give you an idea. First thing I came up with, I just wrote a little list early this morning, sitting around doing nothing. It's my day off, so just figured I'd come up with a little list. So here's a few of the things I like. Thank my mom, who's actually working a camera and holding that crazy camera for me so I can do these videos. So thank you, Mom. I appreciate the help.
You're welcome.
Thinking about my dad right now. He's lives up in Maine and awaiting some results of some tests. He's a Vietnam vet, going through some health issues. So I love my dad. If you happen to see this, Dad, I love you, and I hope the test results come out good and everything's all good and well. And so here we go on to the things that I like. One of the first things, it's very early in the morning when I get up for work and I flick the switch and turn the coffee maker on. I love the smell of fresh coffee brewing, especially like that. We have that brand down here called 8 o'clock coffee. I don't know if you guys have that throughout the country or if that's just maybe something for this area. I live in New Jersey. But I love the smell of coffee brewing, especially if I put the beans in a grinder and I grind them myself. It's nothing like the smell of that. It's just really wonderful. I like vinyl records and listening to music on vinyl records. There's nothing that beats the sound of that. Anything that everybody's ever said about the warmth of vinyl and how good it sounds, absolutely 100% true. I agree with them, and I happen to love vinyl records. I like classic rock, pop, R&B, and soul, and disco music. Probably the reason why, and my mother can attest to this, is the use of actual instruments in the music. I'm not much of a dancer, unless I'm at like a wedding reception and I've had a few drinks in me, but I like listening to music that was recorded with analog equipment that's where they used real guitars and drums, and they didn't limit themselves to machines and stuff like that. They didn't rely upon that to make the sound. That's part of why I like that music so much, and so much of that music has stood the test of time. I think stuff I listened to as a youngster. Now I'm going to be 37 years old, my next birthday, and it still sounds just as great, if not better, than it did when I was a kid. So, yeah. The next thing I came up with on the list I'm a car guy. I like the small block Chevrolet engine, the V8 engine. It's been around just, for such a long time. It's, the 265, and then they went up to 400 cubic inches, and, everything they went through in the 70s with all the emissions controls and choking everything out and AIR pumps on them and all that craziness, catalytic converters and stuff, keep the emissions people happy. And then even through the 80s they came up with electronic fuel injection, which I think they should have went on the advancements of the 60s and started working on that then. They had mechanical fuel injection on the Corvette engine back then, but things happened as they are. But and even today, with the new version, the LS versions, and now they have this what they think they call the LT1 again. That engine, through all the variations and design changes over the years, has really stood the test of time. And there's so many of them available that you can get a small block to fit in just about anything. You can upgrade the gills out of them and build the hell out of them, and just really, I mean, from a basic pickup truck motor with some 991 cylinder heads, I mean, you could go all the way to something that runs, nines in the quarter mile at the track. And you have to have a roll cage in the car. So, I mean, I really, really like the small block Chevy and everything I've been able to do with it over the years. Something I've noticed as I'm getting older and, working the really early hours that I work in the morning, I really love watching the sun rise in the morning, and as well I like watching the sun set in the evening. You can get some really nice pictures of it. I actually have there's a field over not too far from me, actually near our county library. I thought about going there sometime, maybe with my camera, and just snapping some pictures of the sky, because this way I don't have any power lines in the way like when I snap the pictures at work. So I really love that. It's relaxing for me. It's sort of thing that I like to do when it's in the end of the day and I'm unwinding, or if it's the beginning of the day before the delivery trucks start coming at work. So it's something I like. I love old cars. There's nothing like those big, old, tough, boxy, square fucking cars. I mean, they are just wonderful. They're big, roomy. I mean, you could sleep in the back seat of the old Cadillac Mom had when I was a kid. And there's just something about them. I mean, I know there's a lot of safety equipment on new cars today, but I felt more safe in that Cadillac than I did in the Acura TL that I owned that had airbags in virtually every corner. I think that thing even had airbags in the seats. There's something about a big, thick, old steel car with big, heavy bumpers that just makes me feel safe. You don't feel any bumps in the road. And then I remember the station wagon, that Country Squire wagon that my grandfather had. You remember this too, Mom, how when I would go and visit with Dad on the weekends and Grandpa would come pick me up, he'd hit the speed bumps in the apartment complex where they lived. He always called me Davey. He said, "Davey, look, I hit the speed bump at 35 miles an hour, and you barely felt it. It was just a quick bump in the car." So nothing like those old cars. They're fun, and they're certainly a heck of a lot easier to work on. I like creating things with my hands. If we take a big pile of parts, whether it's a lawnmower engine, like we did when I did the motor swap on that lawnmower back a month or two ago, when we did the video of it, or if it's just a big pile of computer parts on the table, and making all the upgrade videos and build videos that I've done on this channel. For me, I have that ability. I have a cousin that, may he continue to rest in peace. He passed away in June of 2006 at age 28 years old. He had a condition called spastic cerebral palsy, and unfortunately for him, he was not able to walk or talk or really take care of himself. But I'll tell you what, that guy there, my cousin Joey, was my inspiration to live, my inspiration to never give up, and my inspiration to use these hands and these abilities I have to create things, to build stuff, and just never to give up at life, and always to try as hard as I can to be as good as I can. I love seeing results of my creation, whether it's putting brakes on my mom's car, doing a motor swap on a lawnmower. Eventually I'm going to figure out how to do the spark plugs on that stinking Duratec engine in my Ford Taurus at the back 3 cylinders. I'm probably going to have to pull the upper intake to do it, but we'll figure out how to do that. If there's a shortcut or a trick, I will figure out the way. You better believe that. So, I like, and again, with that, like we just talking about cars, I like to do as much of the car repairs myself as I can. You go to these shops, you take a car into a shop for brakes, they're going to try and hit you for $300 per axle. And that was when I worked at a dealership years ago. Now imagine the prices at just a regular old shop now are probably even more than that. Especially if you have a car like mine. When I have Mom's apart, which is the same basic car, I checked the calipers, I checked the lines, the rubber flex lines and everything, and I made sure everything was in good working order and nothing was leaking. Shop, they're going to try and sell you calipers. Oh, it's got 113,000 miles on it. We're going to sell you calipers. And just run that bill through the roof. So I like to do as much of the work myself to say, I know when I'm in there, this part's good, this part may last another 50,000 miles, this part's a piece of junk, it needs to be replaced now so that the job turns out right. And, that's how, that's how we approach things, rather than just saying, oh, well, this car is old, we're going to replace this, 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 and this, and then here's your $1,000 bill. The hell with that. I don't do stuff that way. So, hobbies. This next one's a hobby. I like bowling. It's everybody has some times in their life when things are frustrating. I'm no exception. Sometimes things get a little frustrating, and every once in a while it's fun to go to the old bowling alley and take my frustrations out on the pins. Been doing that since 1992. It's one of those sports that I like, that I've kept doing throughout the test of time. Some people like to throw the football, they like to hit a baseball. I enjoy rolling that bowling ball down the alley and just having fun, taking the aggressions out on the pins. And I'm usually in a good mood by the time we're done anyway. The last one on the list, and I'll add a couple more, but I like working. I remember back as a kid, first thing I ever did was raking leaves for Heidi and John, who lived next door to me. Raking leaves, raking their grass whenever my brother and sister got done cutting their grass. And then I got into cutting grass, helping the neighbors out. I helped one neighbor put a fence up, changed spark plugs in a car. I even laid on a snow-covered road once and helped my buddy put a drive shaft back in his truck because his back hurt and he couldn't lay down and do it himself. So I went up and rushed up there in the middle of January and helped him. Even right down to what I do today. I try to wake up really early every day, and as some famous people have said, try to put myself and be, into or be part of the asset column every day. I owe it to people like my cousin. I owe it to myself. I don't think I could live a life where I sit home and look at some soap opera or a game show or something on television. I think I would get bored. I'd be stir crazy and climbing the walls after like 5 or 10 minutes. So, one more I thought of in the entertainment category. When I do sit down and watch TV, I like situation comedies. I grew up as a kid in the 80s. I came of age in the 90s. Back then we had TV shows that we watched. There were characters, and they handled situations. And I think, believe it or not, those shows were probably more realistic than these so-called reality shows that are on television today. I think they tackled the issues a lot better. I saw the metal framed glasses when people wore back in those days instead of these. Everybody wears these plastic looking things from that look like something out of the 60s today. When I was a kid, we called them the Medicaid glasses. That's what they were. But apparently they're in style again. And anyway, before I get off topic, but I liked the sitcoms of the 80s. They were funny, they tackled real issues, and just enjoyed it. Some of those people almost became like second families. When you would tune in and literally religiously watch those shows every week. So, and also with that, the movies I think were a lot better back then too. I like, again, comedy movies. I like acting when the actors are so good they can ad-lib a movie and make you laugh. Without mentioning the name, I'll just say that there's one comedy involving a black Trans Am that was put out in 1977 that involved some of the funniest stuff I've ever heard in my life. And, I would give praise to those actors that were in that movie. Some of them are dead now, but they were just spot on, and that movie was such a funny movie and could make me laugh out loud all day long. And that's just the type of movies and TV shows that I like. I love to laugh out loud, and I love comedy.
Was Burt Reynolds and Sally Field in there?
Yeah, of course. I'm sure they all know what it is.
And Jackie Gleason?
Yeah, of course, you some bitch. But, that's the kind of stuff I like. I'm just an average, ordinary kind of a guy. I love showing you guys how to fix and upgrade computers. Maybe we'll do another question and answer video again at some point. But, so long as there's no more questions about that Dell Dimension E521, I even thought about, hiring somebody to drive over that thing with a tractor trailer because I got so many questions about that stupid thing. That was just a series to show you guys what you could do with older computers, but I wound up getting tons of questions about that. So that machine is long gone. But anyhow, before this video gets too long, but Def Leppard CDs coming in. We'll be doing some update videos on them. I might even show the whole collection. The lawnmowers are good. I used a little red one over the weekend and a self-propelled one. No issues at all. So far the car is doing good. I don't see any transmission fluid on the garage floor, so we're good. And it had that serviced a couple weeks ago. And it shifts like a new transmission now too, so that service really panned out. So I appreciate you guys, tuning in to watch this. Thank you. Sorry if the video is a little boring, but right now I'm just waiting for some stuff to come in so we can put some other videos together. But I thank you for watching, and as always, if you like my videos, subscribe. PC Lover 81's World. And I'll have a goody goody. Cheers.